It's okay to not be compatible with people. So a couple of days, I posted a TikTok about like this conflict I was having with somebody I had been dating for 8 weeks. It was essentially a scheduling conflict, and to make a long story short, sometimes when I schedule, I talk through my to-do list, and they were saying that that to-do list makes it seem like I'm going to be late or that I'm not going to show up. And I asked the people, am I tripping? And the consensus was that I was indeed tripping. That I was, and that like I was providing a bunch of unnecessary information and they too would be irritated, right? But then I took that conversation to people that know and love me, right? And not just strangers on the internet, no tea, no shade. And they had a completely different point of view. They said, Maurice, you are always busy and you do that, right? But they don't see me sharing my to-do list as something overwhelming. They actually like to hear the things that I'm working on and what I'm trying to accomplish for my day. And it does set the tone that I am busy, but they always appreciate that even with my long to-do list, that I'm making the conscious effort to make time to see them, right? And I did that because when I'm always looking for an opportunity to grow. And the people that know and love me are a bit biased, so I also try to look at the micro and the macro, a lesson I learned in tarot. I did also take this to my tarot cards. The macro, I'm having this issue with this person. Macro, is this an issue I have in my life? Girl, no, it's not an issue I have in my life. I schedule meetings for a living. Right, I'm a virtual assistant. I got 2 stacks coming in right now because I schedule meetings. But anyway, I try to proceed to grow and learn for this situation and say, okay, is this something that I should change? Is this a behavior or a way of being, that is hindering me in any way? And is it something that I need to look at changing or growing around? And I came up with the conclusion, no. No tea, no shade. I think I completely understand how, communicating in that way and processing in that way can lead to the other person thinking that I'm too busy to them or setting up the stage for me to be late or that they have to sit around and wait until I'm available, right? But I think that's just a perspective, right? Because I think the other perspective is that there are people who actually want to co-process with me, right? And people who aren't irritated by that. And there are people who are like, I talk about my to-do list and that's not overwhelming or a confusing bit of information. Yeah. And if I'm going to be sharing my mind, my space, and my body with somebody, why not have the latter? Why not have somebody who likes co-processing? Why not have somebody who doesn't actually care about the long to-do list and somebody that recognizes that I'm actively trying to make time to see them and appreciates that? Yeah. And that's what I find to be beautiful. Because I can change this about myself, but I feel like it would be difficult because it kind of feels like natural to who I am or just the way that I talk and schedule things, right? And I could try to change it for this one person, but no tea, no shade. The way they responded and brought it up to me, I was like, I don't like that, and I actually don't have to do this for you. And there are people out here who just don't care, who don't care to that extent. You know what I mean? And I think they would be much better partners because it's not that big of a deal. In some ways, it feels really minute, but if it's minute, I'm dating and I'm choosing who I'm going to be spending, a significant portion of my life with. So at some point, it's not about what's necessary. It's about my preferences and what I like and who's actually going to be compatible for my preferences and what I like and who I am. Yeah. So I say this all to say that the world is abundant and there's definitely people out there, who work with who you are, who aren't going to be irritated by some of your behaviors and by your quirks, and who are going to be looking for opportunities to grow right along with you.